This next gallery was taken by a good friend of mine and one of my sponsors. His name is Big Griff. Griffin. Big Griff. It's huge. And these pictures were taken in Minneapolis when we were visiting with Mr. Walter. And so that would have been in 2011. All of these were taken like day after Thanksgiving to 2011. So let's jump right in. Now this is different. I was taking pictures over here of individual shots, and Griff was taking pictures of what Scott had laid out on the pool table that was just too time consuming. I only had like 2 days to shoot as many photographs as I could. And several others, several of these artifacts I had pictures of from other galleries. But this is a real nice gallery, and he took it all with his phone. He said, I got this new phone, it's supposed to have an incredible camera in it. Griff, this is like 11 years ago. And he came through, So anyway, let's look at Big Griff's video gallery. Thank you. I've got somewhat of an ice storm going on outside, so that's what the clicking and clattering is, the precipitation falling on one of my flue guards. We're going to explain a little bit more about this gallery. And this was taken at Scott Walter's home. And when Griff and I went in, Griff and I met the day before we were going to go meet with Scott Walter. And Scott Walter was very cordial to me and Griff. And as a matter of fact, as soon as I got into town, he brought over several huge notebooks full of photographs. And I had my little Kodak scanner at the time, so I started scanning the night that he brought those in. And he had these custom cases made, or that he either had them made or he made them himself. It's quite ingenious. And what you'll notice is he has half an inch of foam in the back here as one layer, and then he cut holes, generic sized holes, into the next layer of foam, and then to put into the case he would put another half-inch layer on top of it, so that these stones remained secure while in transit. And quite nice. And Griff and I had planned ahead of time that we're going to try to get as many photographs as we can. I was going to set up my rig with my lights and shoot close-up shots of many of the pieces, but I certainly had no time to shoot the smaller pieces and all of them. There's just an overwhelming collection. Overwhelming. And so we're going to look at these. As you see here, this case had 8. And I'm going to blow these up. We're going to look at them a little closer. And we've seen this guy before, previous galleries. And this fella here, I have not seen before. I have not seen this guy. But right here's his name. And it's got some indexing here down on his collar. But I have not seen that stone in any other gallery. Now this guy here, this Egyptian fella here, we've seen him previously. And here's another one. It has like a sad sun on him or so, and then it's got the Hisar symbol, and it's got a Helios faint up here at the top. I had not seen that stone before either. And we're going to come down here. We're going to see, and all of these were taken November 25th of 2011. Here's that one with those four-legged creatures. Here's your Egyptian eagle again. And this guy here, we've seen him in other galleries as well. Here's our next case of 8 more artifacts. And we're going to blow them up. Here's one that doesn't appear in the other galleries that I know of. This Egyptian guy right here, we have him in other galleries. And here's another one that does not look familiar to me. I've not seen him in another gallery. And here we have Gaius Octavius again. Let's scroll down. And here's another tablet showing Helios, and it got the Egyptian Uraeus right there. And I had not photographed that guy. I wish I had, but we had so much going on. I was just glad that Griff got a shot of it. And here's another one that doesn't look familiar to me right off the bat, but you can clearly see it's Egyptian. Anytime you see the hair coming out of the side of the head like that, that is Egyptian, sometimes royalty. And this one dates back to the Jack Ward collection of the late 80s. And this fellow over here, I haven't seen him in another collection also. And here's our next custom case showing 6 artifacts. And I'm going to feature this girl here, my girlfriend, in this one. I had really clear shots of her, but I didn't put it in one of the other episodes because I wouldn't want to get a strike showing an ancient woman topless. But there she is, and I'm going to leave her here. She's just one of the bunch. Here's another one I hadn't seen before. We're going to blow him up a little bit. It's got a little bit of indexing here, barely see it. And here it's got a Helios, but I'm not sure that that is Helios. God, it looks like a yarmulke here. We've seen this guy in other galleries, but I'm not so sure I've seen this guy here in a different gallery. And here we have Helios again. I'm going to turn this right side up so you can see this Helios here, and it's got 2 items up here in the sky, and I'm just wondering if those could be ships. This next piece is obviously broken here, and it's a large piece. This piece is like 18 inches high. It is big, and the carving on it is good. Really good, handsome fellow. And we've seen this stone here, dates back to galleries from the 80s. Here's another guy I haven't seen in any other gallery. Obviously Egyptian here in the Uraeus. I'm going to blow him up a little bit better for you. Nice stones, decent shots. But hey, this was Big Griff's first time at shooting artifacts, black stones with camera. And just regular lighting. Here's our next man. Here you see the hair coming out again. He's in a Uraeus. It's a fancy Uraeus here. There's his name. Handsome fellow. And like I say again and again, most of these face right, but occasionally you'll see one face left. And here's our next one. I'm going to blow it up a little bit for you here. It's a little blurry, but you see the Minotaur. This guy is very handsome. His helmet is decorated. He's got a lot of indexing down here, lots of lines. Outstanding artisan. Now here's Hannibal Barca. He's been in and out of collections for decades. And Hannibal Barca. And this is a big tablet. Paul deciphered this in 96 or 95, I can't remember. And it's a big stone. It's like 14 inches, but it's heavy. It's like 6 inches thick. It's just big. He's featured at the end of Tomb Tape 4, I believe. Here's another fellow. It's got Helios down at the bottom. Could be later in life. I'm going to blow it up. Real nice Uraeus. And here's my perky girlfriend again. You'll notice that she's got the Egyptian armbands, Egyptian headdress. Handsome woman. Here's another handsome fellow. I'm going to blow him up. And I want you to notice the ear here. Very cut and dry. But it's a lot of character here in the face. I guess this is to impose either sideburns or whiskers. There's his collar. He's about 10 inches tall, maybe 8 inches wide or so. This guy's been around for ages. He was larger than I thought he was. But he dates back to collections from the late 80s. You'll notice the smirk in the mouth here. Now here's a really handsome guy. You'll notice one of my books in the background here. Scroll down. I think I got another shot of him here. Yeah, here's a more lengthy shot. Big stone. You see he's over 2 feet tall. He's probably a foot wide. I wouldn't know how to describe that myself. I don't. Other than it's just a nice, ugly piece. Here's my next piece. It's got a impurity in the stone here. He's about 14 inches tall, and I don't think I've seen this in any other gallery. Let's make him bigger. Handsome fellow. Handsome fellow. Check out the character in that face. And it looks like he may have a tattoo or something on his forehead. Some of you may already recognize this as Flagstone 2. And the reason I'm showing it here again is because there might have been 1 or 2 letters that somebody attempting to decipher this may want to see clearer. That's why I think it's important to show different photographs of the same thing. Somebody may be interested in seeing it. It's going to scroll up. See, here's an S right here, and the S's look a lot like N's. Here's an N, here's an S. They're very similar, but not quite. Here's a really nice piece about 6 or 7 inches tall. Lots of character in this face. Here's the script. It's got a little Helios on it. Here's one of the ship stones. And many of these stones are exfoliating from not being in a proper museum. But hey, what are you going to do? I can't afford a museum. Nice ship. It's got the dragon here, or sea monster. Here's a couple more jewels. And why someone would carve so much on these, which we're going to look at several of them. And because you could never strike anything with them. I mean, these pieces would just bust all to hell if you tried to hit something with them. It's like a tool or scraper of some kind. Maybe you have a double groove on it. Small hammer. This guy's like, I think 3.5, 4 inches. Nice little statue, actually. He's been around different galleries since decades ago. Here's a banister stone, and you've seen this guy in several different galleries. He's been around. Now this is a nice case. This is a nice case, and this looks like some kind of pipe, but I'm not sure, and I'm not sure if that came from the actual tomb. But I'm pretty sure all the rest of them, these Carrara marbles here, they are telltale, as with any of the marble pieces are. Here's another one of my girlfriends. You talk about bizarre. We got it. I'd like to know this woman. You know, what if she took the mask off, or does she actually look like that? What is up with this? She's got 2 Egyptian armbands. Good looking stone, well executed. And here we've seen this guy in several different galleries for ages. Here's his name. Nice carving, no mistakes. I mean, the artisan is just absolutely incredible. The only place that we've seen artifacts that were similar to this was Gozel, some stuff from Iberia, ancient Spain, and some finds in southern Italy. Here's another handsome fellow I haven't seen in any of the other galleries. Here's another strange one. It's got his name down here. I'm going to blow it up. This guy does not look familiar to me. It's a little fuzzy, but here you see the hair coming out of the side of his head here. Egyptian style, and the helmet's also Egyptian style. Well executed, handsome fellow for being carved on a black rock for 2,000 years ago. The script is pretty hard to make out. And here's our final piece in this gallery. And we're going to see him in other galleries as well, going back to the late 80s. And just this will conclude the gallery taken by Mr. Griffin. Big Griff. He hosted my webpage for, gosh, almost 20 years, I think. Never charged anything for his services. One of the best computer geniuses I've ever met. Chowing down on apples. You like them apples? How about them apples? This gallery is the first known gallery of these artifacts, taken by Warren Dexter, and I believe it was early summer of 1986 or 87. It's either 86 or 87, I'm not sure. And we're going to look at these, and he took good pictures, but he didn't fill the screen up. He didn't fill the camera up. We don't know why, but he measured each one, and we're going to see them. And then we've got only one major gallery left after this. So this is, I guess, be gallery number 10. Warren Dexter. He passed away years ago. He passed away like 20 years ago. He left his legacy in some of these photographs. It's not, I used to have more of his photographs than I do now. Joe Mahan gave me all of his pictures of Warren Dexter's. And I don't know what happened to them. Between hurricanes, tornadoes, and fires, they got scattered to the wind. This is what I have left. So let's look at it. Now we're going to look at Warren Dexter's gallery, and this is the first gallery, and I don't have all of his pictures. I'm not sure how many he took, if he was selective or whatever, but he took pictures of artifacts all over the world. North, South America, Europe. He knew what he was doing. He knew his camera, he knew his film, and he knew his lighting. He's a brilliant photographer, and he did a very good job. And a lot of these, I'm blowing them up to fit the screen here. They actually didn't turn out big in the pictures themselves. And I got these photographs from Joe Mahan back in, I believe it was fall of '94. And then Joe Mahan gave me a bunch of others and said, don't worry about giving them back to me. And then Joe Mahan died summer of '95. And he told me to don't, before he died, I spoke to him, he said don't worry about it. He said they're in good hands. And unfortunately I don't know what happened to the rest of them. So we're going to start out and just show photographs as they come up. This is the other side of the same stone with the same axe head. Real nice designs here, really nice work. Like I said, this is all taken, I believe, summer of '87. Really good clarity. Here's his collar. And we've seen this guy here in several different collections through the years. Your owl, this is the rear of it here. And of course, here's one of my favorites. You see, it's over what, 15? It's over 18 inches long, or wide, however you want to say it. Really nice piece. Here's this next piece. I don't know what this is, have no idea. I'm going to blow it up in case somebody is really interested in this type of geometric pattern. You see little tangents here that are identical. What in the world does this stone mean? Just to be coy, I'm going to flip it. I'm going to start at the bottom. It may show us something different, but not much. What is that stone about? And here's this guy that I've used several times, but I haven't used this photograph. He's been around for decades. And here's this piece again. Really nice clarity on it. And here's this fella, clearly Egyptian. Let me blow him up. Here he is, and this is a marble piece. He's got the breastplate. And this is what several of the scholars had a problem with, is that his feet are facing right. His up to here is facing right, but his abdomen is facing forward, and his face is, and the scholars, oh no, can't do that. What? Good looking piece. Here's this man again. Dancing with a cobra. And cobras are really laid back as far as snakes goes. There's some snakes that are just like in for the party, man, you know. Rat snakes, red rat snakes, corn snakes. There's a lot of snakes that just love to hang out. It's got a little wanker there hanging out. Here's another dirty piece, been around for a long time. Don't know what it is. It's in other collections. It's in other galleries. And here's this lady again. I've used it in videos before. Rather risque. Nice patterns coming down here. We'll look at those a little closer. We would call her well endowed. She is facing left, as well as her feet are facing left. Looks like she's scratching these goats underneath the chin or feeding them something. And here's Dexter's close-up of these really nice designs. Here's another Egyptian piece. And we've seen this guy here in other galleries. We'll probably see him again. Here's this fat head in a helmet again. And I'm going to blow him up. You see he's about 6 inches wide, probably about 7 or 8 inches tall. And what I want you to note is the shape of the ears here, which seems to run pretty similar with several of the artifacts. Here's another shot of Helios. We'll see him again. He's been in a bunch of collections through the years. Like I say, this is in Jack Ward's collection from decades ago. Here's some more indexing. Has a few characters up here. Here's a nice showcase. How would you like to have that in your living room? Or in your collection? And so many people just come up and say, oh, all of these are fakes. All these are, yeah, they're faked in Carrara marble. Again and again and again. And remember, these things only sold for like $3 to $5 when Burroughs started pulling them out. And here's what's funny right here. Found in a cave in, and you see the reflection, Illinois. This is for real, folks. Here's one of Dexter's shots of a table at Jack Ward's museum. I'm going to blow it up and let you look at it. And you'll see some of them. Some of them here. Here's one that a design we looked at in the last gallery. Several heads over here, portraits. Several more. There's Cleopatra right there. So, well, how do you know? It doesn't have her name on it, but we have several stones that look like her. Just the same lady here. I'll blow it up once more here. And she actually looks like the frescoes in Egypt. And there's this one lady that works for past preservers. She has her hair cut like that, and she actually kind of looks like Cleopatra off of these stones. But there's Paris of Epirus right here. Here's one of the Cleopatra stones, actually Cleopatra. I'll blow it up, let you see her face here. That's her. Now, let's go here. Here's the script on the right-hand side. Here's the script across the top. And here's the script coming down on the other side. This piece here, I believe, is like 20 inches wide, big stone, heavy too. It's thick. It's like 3 inches thick. Here's one of the lions. Remember this handsome fellow? Clearly Egyptian, but it's coming through a little bit better here on Dexter's picture. And here we have this fella again. Got a uraeus with cobras poking his head out. All these little lines. How long would it take you to do that with just pen and paper? Look at that. Handsome guy though. Here's this fella again, kind of worn. Can't really tell what the script is in here, but it's probably his name. It looks like a squared cartouche. Here's this person again. Here's this guy again, clearly Egyptian. See that hair coming out of the side? And it was, I guess, hard to do this at some point, where the hair coming out of the side of your head and the rest of you is shaved, all except for that bundle right there. That had to be some sign of prestige. Here's another axe head. I believe that your axe head collectors would call this a 3/4 groove. Got some script on it there. Nice piece, Carrara marble. Here's another one. Bounced around in so many collections. Double groove. Here's another one of the 3D pieces. You can see it's been re-glued here. And before you start thinking dirty, we're going to look at this. This is clearly a cobra. I'll blow it up. Small. Nice piece though. Nice piece. I don't know what you'd call it. Here's another Egyptian priest. And we've seen him before. Handsome guy. Here's another Egyptian priest. Looks like a pendant. Here's Paris of Epirus. Handsome guy. But what it says is, it doesn't say Paris of Epirus. It says Pira, King of the Molossians, or Molossi Rex, King of the Molossians. Well, how many people would know that Paris of Epirus was King of the Molossians? I mean, unless they were just total history buffs. I mean, poor old Burroughs with an IQ of like 85. He's not going to know that. This stone was deciphered on Tomb Tape 4, I believe. Fantastic warrior. He was sick with the flu, had a fever, and he killed so many men with his sword that they piled up around him. He had a pile of bodies around him, and they had to climb over bodies to get to him for him to slay them again. That's his legacy. Here's this stone again, a little bit better quality picture of it. I'll blow it up for you. Start at the top and work our way down. Here's the other side of it, and here's the other side of it again. Here's this guy again. Here's the opposite side of it. Looks more like Numidian than anything else. And this is really amazing. It had to be Warren Cook that had figured this out. And here's, I'm pretty sure that this was most likely be Warren Cook's hand holding up this trinket, this ring here with the message, where they rolled it out in clay. And they had a few others like that too. But they figured that out, which I think is pretty doggone slick on those guys. They got some clay and rolled it out. Here's this guy again. Now you can follow him through collections and galleries for the past, what, 40 years? Here's this guy. Again. And I don't know how many times people have accused Paul and I of making these stones, or even Russ Burroughs of making these stones. And for the people that think that Paul, remember, this is taken in 1987. We didn't even know anything about, I didn't even know Burroughs Cave existed until like 1991. This is another 3D piece. This is the markings on the front. Here it is from the side. Not a lot of light there. And here's the ship, Philadelphia. This is deciphered on Tomb Tape 4, I believe. This piece is now broken. Here you get a good idea how big it is, or how small it is, actually. This is a really good scene here. I don't know whatever happened to this piece. I believe it was attached to some kind of wall mural before it was broken or so. Great carvings. This is on Carrara marble, like so many others. Here's another ship scene. Pretty simplistic though. Looks like a starfish, looks like a jellyfish. Perhaps. Here's this cute little marble piece here. Beautiful piece. And here's another 3D piece. This is a boat. And I have not seen this piece with my own eyes. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know who ended up with it or what. I just don't know. Here it is from another angle. And here's another one of my favorites. And here's this piece again. And now we're going to look at the reverse of it. Here's the reverse of the same stone. Here's another one of Caesar. You see the Caesar symbol here? Caesar. His name wasn't Julius Caesar. It was Iola Caesar. And here's this guy again with his fancy helmet. And here's this Egyptian guy. Not a really good carving, but he's in the US. And he's a pretty big stone. He's like 8 inches, 9 inches high. And here's this Egyptian fella here. Clearly Egyptian. I don't know what happened to this guy. I haven't seen him around in any recent galleries. Got a rather long nose. And you can see what here in here where it's probably pinned up against a wall. And they pin them up against a wall and put wedges in them so that they would stay in place. This is the reverse of the same stone. Here's another one. You can get some idea how big he is. Probably about 9 inches across the top, maybe a foot tall. Well executed. It is in marble. And here's this guy again. Pretty worn, but I'm showing background. Some of the first pictures ever taken of these artifacts by a professional. Here's this handsome Egyptian guy again. There's his name. And that will conclude the oldest known gallery of these cave artifacts, these tomb artifacts, taken in 1987, early summer of 1987, by